Well, welcome back to our series Road to Lakeland. It's no secret to baseball fans, the American League Central is one of the weakest divisions in all of baseball.
Yeah, so let's win it. Now looking to end the end of the decade on a drought, the Tigers are in a prime spot to end those rebuild discussions with a legitimate chance of winning. Now the team hasn't made the postseason since 2014 and haven't had a winning record since 2016, finishing second in the Central. However, things are looking up after a resurgent second half last season.
Even better, the Tigers were no match for the rest of the AL Central. They went 9-4 against the Guardians, 10-3 against the Royals, 8-5 against both the Twins and the White Sox.
This morning, Tigers radio broadcaster Dan Dickerson and our producer Brandon Rothenberg give you a closer look at how the team can win the division this time around.
But you can really make the biggest improvements. You got to go from 78 wins, let's call it 88 to 90 to win the division. Let's call it 88 because it's the Central. To get there, the quickest way to get there probably is with pitching and defense. And I think that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Coincidentally, the Tigers and the Royals were the most active. In fact, the Royals, they really made some changes and some strides last season. Twins, they got rid of Sonny Gray, Joey Gallo, just traded away Jorge Polanco. So that's kind of my question to you is, everybody talks about the AL Central being the weakest division, one of the weakest divisions in baseball. There's a lot of excitement heading into this season. I mean, is it doable? Who else gets in the way of
Oh, absolutely doable. I will say the starting point has to be, again, you look at I think that the truest tale is the Tigers finished with what, 78 wins. The Twins, I think, had 87. The truest measure of how far they were behind the Twins is the expected one-loss record for each team based on runs scored, runs allowed. That to me is like that tells you where you are. The Twins, with their run scoring, runs allowed, were a 93-win team. The Tigers were a 73-win team, which means they outperformed their runs scored, runs allowed to win 78. The Twins underperformed based on the runs scored, runs allowed. So, okay, that tells you that's a pretty big gap, more than just the 9 games in the standings. But it gets back to they haven't done a whole lot. How much have you closed that gap with the moves you made and really the moves they didn't make? They lost Sonny Gray and Kenta Maeda. That's a blow. That's still a good team, though. But I think that's maybe the door that opens that allows the Tigers to absolutely catch the Twins. I will be surprised if they aren't in it, meaning close to first place all season long. I always think of that 9-game losing streak in June that just kind of knocked them for a loop and they never really got back into it. They did finish 19-10, and that doesn't always translate into momentum going into the next year, but that was a sign of, okay, when we get guys healthy, and that was without Riley Green, what this team is capable of. I look for a strong start, though. That sometimes gets overplayed. As Sparky Anderson said, well, what happens if we don't get off to a good start? Many managers have said that. So I think it was Jim Leland who said that. Okay, what if we don't get off to a good start? Then what? Do we punt the season? But I do think it's important to get off to a good start, show that you're going to be in this thing right from the start.
A lot of fans are wondering what they can expect from shortstop Javi Baez this season. Tomorrow, Dan gives his take on El Mago, as well as what the infield might look like come opening day. For our full Road to Lakeland coverage and analysis, just head to our website, cbsdetroit.com.